Hello everyone, I am Eric Lawver, lead biologist with Grant County PUD, here this morning with Matt Burke with Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. I want to talk to you a little bit about proper fish handling techniques for our live capture King of the Reach Salmon Derby coming up. There are certain ways that these fish should be handled, and there are certain ways that these fish should not be handled, because these fish need to stay alive anywhere from 1 day to several weeks post-capture. So we would just like to demonstrate for you a few ways that we would like to see these fish handled to give them their best chance of survival and make it to the spawn and contribute to our program. Now what we'd really like to see is the fish handled in a horizontal position, upside down, fully supported by both hands. Fingers are well clear of the gills, the back is held straight, and with the fish upside down, all the viscera are in their natural horizontal position, and with the vent pointed up, we're not going to lose any eggs or any milt. And the fisherman is much less likely to drop a fish if it were to start thrashing when being held in this configuration. One of the ways that we see people handle fish that is common in fishing but doesn't work well for broodstock collection is handling the fish by the gill covers or any other part of the head. So you'll see people slip their fingers through the bottom jaw or under the gill cover and hand the fish over to the transfer boat. That's very difficult and very hard on the fish. Handling fish in this manner can damage their gills. The vertical orientation of the fish makes it very difficult on their internal organs, on their viscera. They don't have the water to support them anymore, and so all those, the guts and their gametes can just pile up at the bottom of the fish. It can cause milt to leak out. It can cause eggs to leak out. We definitely do not want to hold the fish like this. Another method we see fishermen commonly use to hand fish over is simply just by grabbing them by the tail and letting them hang down. Although that does seem like a solid grip, if the fish were to kick or to buck, the fish drops, bounces off the boat, perhaps bounces into the river. But again, that vertical orientation causes all their internal organs to pile up at the head of the fish, which is very hard on the fish and could ultimately lead to its death. And now a few words on the holding conditions of the fish. So for those of the boats that are set up with a live well that has single pass water, that is fantastic. For those of us that need to use an ice chest with a recirculation pump that is provided, we want to make sure that that water in your ice chest is staying fresh. If it begins to turn pink with blood, if it starts to get really foamy and bubbly, it's time to change out that water. Again, our whole point of going to this effort of the Derby is to collect high quality, natural origin fish for the Pre-Strappers Hatchery Broodstock Program, and keeping the freshest, cleanest water possible, and by handling the fish in the most gentle way possible is going to give us our best chances for success. So it is extremely important that Grant County PUD incorporate as many natural origin genes into our hatchery broodstock program as possible. And it's your efforts and your generosity and your care for the resource that are enabling us to do that. Those natural origin fish are going to pay dividends for our program this year and for generations to come. So on behalf of Grant County PUD, Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, and the Coastal Conservation Association, thank you for your participation in the Derby. We appreciate your support of the Pre-Strappers Hatchery program, and we wish you all good fishing.